What's going on, everyone? Leo Lee here. And today we are going to go over. I'm so excited. We're going to talk about the sequel to one of my all time favorite games, Ghost of Tsushima. Now, sadly, this was announced yesterday while I was at work, so this isn't a first time reaction or anything. But I just wanted to make a video and go over my thoughts on the sequel. There's quite a bit to talk about, and there's also quite a bit of chatter surrounding this sequel. But anyway, let's go over the footage and have a little talk about it. All right, here we go. Let's play the video. I gotta turn the volume down a little bit. Yeah. Captured on PS5, mix of gameplay and in-game cinematics. So, you know, before the state of play yesterday, for the past couple months, I've been saying I've been hoping for a GOT 2 announcement. And I was like, I have a feeling that they're going to end the state of play with the GOT sequel reveal. So let's talk about Mount Yotei. So that's what this game is going to be called. It's going to be called Ghost of Yotei. So Yotei takes place on what is current day Hokkaido Island, which is the very northern reaches of Japan. It's like the very northernmost island. It's going to be quite a beautiful, beautiful environment, as you can see from this black and white. It just shows the art direction. I mean, even though this is black and white, you can still tell this game is going to be gorgeous. And they're doing their Kurosawa thing right here. But yeah, when I saw especially the burning entrance to the village, I immediately knew that was Ghost of Tsushima because it was reminiscent of when they first revealed Ghost of Tsushima way back in 2016 or something. You saw Jin standing in front of like a burning entrance, in front of a burning entrance. So this was just a callback to that. So I already knew this was going to be Ghost of Tsushima 2. But yeah, super stoked. Glad I was right about this. All right, let's continue.
But you...
Blood in the snow.
You are hunting. And now, every Ronin here...
You could also tell here, this is 100% Sucker Punch graphics.
Still think you're the hunter?
Right here is when I realized this is not Jin. That's a lady. Ah, so sick. Look at her. So let me get her hand over. Look at the detail on that. It's a wolf. So whereas Jin Sakai was basically the wind or tsunami, this protagonist's theme is going to be the wolf, definitely. I mean, they showed the wolf earlier too, so. But a lot of people are talking about, like, they're calling her a samurai, which there is no indication that she's a samurai here. If anything, she's Ronin, which I guess technically is a wandering samurai. But I'm not too sure there were female samurais in Japanese history. There were definitely 100% female warriors, like several of them. Lots of them, actually. I think there was a whole army of one, but I don't think any of them were considered samurai. But anyways, that's neither here or there. We got a badass protagonist. That's all we know, that holds sword, that holds a katana. This music. Oh, it's so good. Listen, it's going to be, like right now it sounds Western, and it goes into like Japanese style, and it's just a perfect amalgamation of American Western and Japanese classic music. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, look at Mount Yotei. Beautiful. Ooh, hold on. Let me up the quality. It's not showing good quality. Apologies. There we go. Let's turn back a little bit. Look, we're just we're going off the top here. This isn't scripted or nothing, all right? So there's something I want to go back and look at. So when I look at see this shot here, although this reminds me of the title sequence of Ghost of Tsushima, I am noticing that they're aiming. It looks like they're aiming for a little more photorealism, which I don't mind. I mean, the first game looked plenty real too. It was just super artsy, but where they were kind of straying from photorealism is the vibrance of everything, right? But it looks like they toned it down for the sequel. It still looks great, like right here, definitely. So yeah, it still looks gorgeous. There's no denying that. But I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of missing the flair, the vibrance of the first game, which, you know, they might add later on in the, you know, on the game's release, because in the 2016 Ghost of Tsushima trailer, it was also like toned down a little more photorealistic. But by the time the game was nearing release, it was super artsy, very vibrant. Ah, that's such a good shot right there. And I don't know what this instrument's called, but it's basically like a Japanese version of a banjo. But that's the thing. That's the string you hear in the music right now. Freaking awesome. So Jin had the flute, and this Pro tag has a little Japanese banjo. Ah, classic Ghost of Tsushima shot right here. Classic. Let's go back. I want to check out. Look at that samurai's armor. Look at that. Definitely more modern. I think this game, they say it takes place 1603, so that's over 300 years from the events of Ghost of Tsushima 1. So we're going to see, even though actually there's a couple of armor sets in Ghost of Tsushima 1 where it was more of a modern samurai armor. But you can tell in this sequel here, the shot here, they're definitely wearing modern armor. This might actually... This kind of looks like it would be like a mythical sequence, like the mythic tales from the first one. Looks like one of those guys has glowing eyes, like right here. So this might be a mythical tale. So cool. Dual wielding. This is what I'm so excited for. She's going Musashi. It looks like she has the dog charm on, making friends with the wolf. This music, fantastic. I can't tell you how happy I am that they decided to blend Western and Japanese music. Look at that. So we got new weapons. That's another thing that the audience wanted. Yeah, we were all like wanting new weapons. Is this how do you pronounce it? Kusanagi? It's basically a farmer's tool. So when I see this, it makes me think she's going to be... I mean, it's going to be called Ghost. Either way, we know she's going to end up being a shinobi. But I think she might be a shinobi from the beginning, you know, judging by the weapon she's using. This is a farmer's tool, which were also used by shinobi. Dual wield, hell yeah! And now you got the flintlock rifle too. Sweet. All right, and there it is, Ghost of Yotei. I can't tell you how excited I am to play this game. Oh man, this makes me want to hop back into Ghost of Tsushima now. I must have played Ghost of Tsushima around when it first got released. I 100% legit played it back to back 4 times, and I did 100% playthrough on the first 3 of them, and I've played it like maybe twice again over the years. So like 6 playthroughs. I freaking loved Ghost of Tsushima, and now I'm super excited that they announced the sequel. Everybody doubted me. I was like, they're gonna reveal it this year. And then I saw the PlayStation Pro happen, and I'm like, oh, that cements it for me. They're 100% gonna reveal Ghost of Tsushima 2 now, especially after seeing when they revealed the PlayStation Pro and we really didn't see any cool titles for it, I was like, they're saving it. They're saving it. They have to reveal Ghost of Tsushima 2 now. And then they announced the State of Play. And, usually the State of Play doesn't show off too many, brand new releases or brand new upcoming releases. But I still had faith, and guess what? I told everybody. I ended up being right. Although I thought we were just gonna get I thought the State of Play was gonna fade to like Jin's mask, or basically a samurai mask, and then just cut out and say see you at the showcase. I thought they were gonna do just a splash image tease, but they gave us a whole freaking trailer, which I'm all for it. But yeah, so the thing I did want to talk about, as much as I wanted a continuation of Jin's story, and one of the arguments I dislike are people who claim that Jin's story was complete. In my opinion, that's false. Like, the Ghost of Tsushima was an origin story, and Jin didn't actually fully become the ghost until the ending of the game, until the very ending. That's when he truly became the ghost. So I think his story still has a lot to be told. Also, when you finish the game and you're in Jin's hut and you interact with all the items, it just points towards a continuation of his story. I mean, he's being chased by the Shogun. That's one of the major hints. So he has to deal with the Shogun's men. And historically speaking, we know the Mongols invaded again like 7 years later. And Jin's now this, protagonist whose only goal is to keep Japan safe now. And he's not going to be able to do that if the samurai don't change their way. And the only way to initiate that change is he's going to have to somehow confront the shogun, which also fits historically because there were plenty of times where shoguns were overthrown, and there was infighting amongst several samurai clans back then. So it would make complete sense for Jin to move on to the mainland, and whether with his army that was gathering, or with just him and Yuna or whatever, infiltrate the shogun and have that be like the final battle, because again, the samurai way has to change, and we learned that in the first game. Otherwise, if they get invaded again, they might not be successful the next time around if they stick to their strict honor code. So I still think there's more to be told with Jin. But the other hint to me is that, again, now we have a sequel. And once again, it has nothing to do with the mainland. The mainland is not the focus of the game. It's a different island of Japan. So I feel like they're just holding that back. Sucker Punch has to know that us gamers, we fans, have wanted them to do the mainland because there's so much more to explore in the mainland. You got, sprawling cities and stuff like that. Way more people. There's samurai all over. So, it only makes sense for a Sucker Punch to tackle the mainland. And, after seeing this reveal trailer for Yotei and it being a completely new origin story, I've come to the realization that Sucker Punch is most likely not continuing Jin's story and holding off on it because they have a movie coming out that's going to focus around Jin. So by the time the movie comes out, the interest in Jin's story is going to be at an all-time high. So it makes sense for them to then, after the movie, release a sequel to Jin's story. That makes complete sense to me. And maybe by then, that's when the PlayStation 6 is also going to come out. So it also makes sense for a true GOT sequel to be launched with the PS6. So I don't know. That's just my theory. I would love to see it. I would love to see it happen. It might not happen. Who knows? But Sucker Punch is known for listening to their fans, and especially after announcing Yotei now, how many fans wanted a continuation of Jin's story. It would just make complete sense for Sucker Punch to do that. But yeah, the other thing I want to talk about is, there's some controversy, not nearly as much as something like AC Shadows. But yeah, I've seen several opinions about, how, oh no, this game is woke because it's a female protagonist. They took the masculine character Jin away and once again filled it with the female role. Look, I normally, in my Let's Play videos, I normally try to stay away from any type of like social agenda opinions and political opinions. I try to stay away from that because, I live my life trying to find a neutral zone, right? I try to be in the middle of all things. Not be in the middle of drama, but like I try to take the middle road. I try to find the balance. In this case, I do have to say, like, think about it, people. For those of you who have a problem with the female pro tag for Ghost of Yotei, I need you to think about something. In the first game, Ghost of Tsushima, I remember all of you praising Yuna, right? Everyone thought Yuna was badass. Then you had Lady Masako. People were calling her gangster. She's such a cool ass old lady samurai. And then you also had Tomoe, and everyone was wanting Jin to get with Tomoe. Oh, she's beautiful. She's a badass warrior. Nobody had issues with these characters. And now Sucker Punch releases a sequel with the new female pro tag. All of a sudden, it's woke. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you need to just kick it down a notch. Calm down, relax. Enjoy that we got a sequel announcement. Also, I want you to remember the entire reason Jin even became the ghost was because of Yuna. So basically, that game wouldn't have happened without the female Yuna. And now you got a problem with the female pro tag in the sequel. Make it make sense. But yeah, I'm honestly, I don't like either sides of the extreme. I don't like the people who try to shoehorn social agendas into games out of nowhere, and I don't like the people who call every little bit of that stuff woke. The term woke bugs me. It's like overused, and I don't know. It's just it's annoying. And by shoehorn, I mean like, let's say you're playing a Call of Duty campaign. None of it has to do with gun control, but all of a sudden there's a mission that has to do with gun control. Like, that feels shoehorned in there. Like, you didn't need to do that. That's what I mean when I don't like it when things are shoehorned into games like that, like social agendas. But as for Ghost of Yotei, 100%, this is not shoehorned in there. I don't believe that for 1 second. And Sucker Punch has a history. Again, aside from the side female characters in Ghost of Tsushima 1, you had, what was that called? Infamous, I think First Light was the title of it. And that was a female. The main pro tag was a female. Again, no one had issues with that back then. But yeah, all of a sudden, in today's climate, it's an issue. Whatever. That's pretty much all I have to say on that subject. When I play this, by the way, I am going to once again play this in English, because that's the default language for the game. It's made by an American studio. I always found it interesting how people will play like an Asian themed game, and if it's in English, like, people will hate on it and say, oh, it doesn't feel authentic, right? But then you play games of any other ethnicity, like God of War, that has to do with Norse mythology. You play Assassin's Creed games that takes place in ancient Greece, Rome, or whatever, and Viking, no one ever complains about others playing those games in English. All of a sudden, you got an Asian-themed game like Samurais, and oh no, you're playing it in English. It's not authentic. It sucks. I really hate that. I despise that. It's annoying. But yeah, again, super excited. I think her name's Atsu. So yeah, the main protagonist's name is Atsu. By the way, I also wanted to mention Sucker Punch did kind of mention why they went this direction. They said they love origin stories, and they wanted to focus on a completely new character's origins. It's my belief or my theory, I should say, that Atsu is basically starting as the ghost. This isn't like a journey of this protagonist becoming a ghost, because she already looks like she's, you heard in the first scene, the enemy telling her that she's being hunted by Ronins, and then you see the wanted poster of her as well. So I think she's already pretty much like a ghost type character. But it's going to be interesting to see how her story unfolds. I wonder if she's like a descendant of maybe Jin or Yuna, or maybe even Tomoe, or maybe it has nothing to do with them at all. But one cool thing I would like to see, and it would be badass, is just like in the first game with its mythical tales. If Atsu in the sequel comes across a mythical tale where it's a story about Jin, and then you see Jin appear, whether it's in a hallucination or somebody posing as Jin and Jin's in ghost armor, and then you have to fight Jin, and then as a reward you get something like the ghost dance. Let me just say, that would be fucking awesome. One can hope, right? One can hope. I also wonder, are you going to keep the hot springs in here? Are we going to have equality there? We saw Jin's butt. Does that mean we're going to see Atsu's butt? I'm kidding. I'm messing around there. Ignore that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share my excitement and also talk about my disdain for the little controversy there is surrounding this game. I think people just need to calm down, and let's all just relish in the fact that at a state of play in 2024, Sucker Punch announced a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. All right, let's all just appreciate that and be happy about it. All right, and plus, female or not, we have a main protagonist in a Ghost of Tsushima game where she's dual wielding, where they're dual wielding swords. That's going to be just fucking awesome. All right. So just relax and be happy. That's all I got to say. Anyways, this video is going on a little too long and I'm ranting a little too much. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, I appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.